the time, on June 17, 2008, I received this letter from the Prime Minister Department, Mark Russia. I am now releasing this letter for the general public to understand. Recently, I saw news that President of STAR, Dr. Jeffrey Ketingan, had been asked to explain to the SPRM about some allegations of corruption. Now, I don't believe those allegations, and I want to urge our Sabahan political leaders, such as Dr. Jeffrey, to be brave, to be not fearful, and to continue the fight for Sabah rights. As we all know, Dr. Jeffrey has been for many years fighting for Sabah rights, even to the point of being detained without trial under the then Internal Security Act. Now, what I want to say today is, in my last 40 years in Sabah politics, sometimes in government, sometimes in opposition, I can say what we are seeing now in Sabah is how law enforcement agencies such as the Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission, or MACC, in Malay is SPRM, is been weaponized to become a weapon in order to subdue Sabahans punya fight and struggle for Sabah rights and Sabah resources. Now, it happened to me in June 2008. I just give a short chronology. At that time, after the general election in March 2008, the Malaysian National Federal Government, for the first time in its history, lost its two-third majority. That means the federal government, Malaysian National, depended on the MPs from Sabah and Sarawak for its two-third majority. I call that the window of opportunity for Sabah and Sarawak to claim back the rights of Sabah and Sarawak under the Malaysia Agreement 1963. Towards the end, Parti Maju Sabah SAPP and our two members of parliament, at that time from Sepangga and Tawau, wanted to move a vote of no confidence in the then Prime Minister. That was in June 2008. We were supposed to make the announcement of no confidence in the then Prime Minister on the 18th of June 2008. Now, suddenly, the day before that, on the 17th of June, I received a fax from the Prime Minister's Department nominating me as a senator. You see? And I consider that an insult and an attempted bribery for me to toe the line of the then federal government, because we were about to move the vote of no confidence in the then Prime Minister. We did not accept the nomination as senator, and we went on. We proceeded with announcing the no confidence in the then Prime Minister the following day, which is the 18th of June 2008. You know what happened? After that, on the 20th of June, 2 days later, the Director of Anti-Corruption Agency Malaysia announced on television and was reported in all the mainstream media that Yong was under investigation for a bribery involving 5 billion ringgit. In the year 1996, when I first became the Chief Minister, I knew for a fact that no such corruption existed. Now this goes to show that the ACA at that time, Anti-Corruption Agency at that time, was being weaponized. You see, to threaten me. Now, just 3 days ago, I was being nominated by the Prime Minister Department to become a senator. It means that they have done background check. They have done background check and screening and among law enforcement agencies, including the ACA, before they nominated me to be a senator. Yet, because I did not toe the line, they announced that I was under investigation for corruption. Nothing came out of that allegation. Telephoned the office of the director of ACA at Kota Kinabalu, offering myself to have my statement taken. And the answer to me was, there was no such plan. I called the ACA office because I was about to go overseas to attend the graduation ceremony, university graduation ceremony of my son in the United Kingdom. I did not want to be stopped at the airport on the way out. But there was no such need for me to even go to have my statement taken at the ACA office. I later realized that the announcement by ACA to investigate me for corruption was because it was a tactic to scare, to make other MPs afraid to follow what SAPP had done to declare no confidence in the Prime Minister of the day. And it worked because none of the other members of parliament or political parties follow what SAPP had done on June 18, 2008. Now, this shows a weaponization of law enforcement agencies. To put it simply, it means to toe the federal line means no actions will be taken against the leaders concerned. To refuse to toe the federal line could result in criminal prosecution against the leaders concerned. Now, this is how federal bullying works in the politics of federalism. Now, this is important because we want our leaders to be berani, we want our leaders to be bersih, and we want our leaders to be benar. Bersih, berani, benar. We are berani because we are bersih, and we are berani because we are benar. We are clean, we are truthful, therefore we are brave. Now, we need Sabahan leaders to be like this, so that we can continue to fight for the interests of Sabah, or else if they have their career been threatened by possible criminal investigation, possible criminal charges, then they will surrender Sabah rights. If they want to protect their personal interests, they might be vulnerable to surrender or to compromise on Sabah rights. Now, I remember a quote from the former President John F. Kennedy of the United States. Do not fear to negotiate, but do not negotiate out of fear. That's my message today, that Sabahans and our leaders must be brave, must be courageous, fear not. Once we are not afraid anymore, the fear factor does not work on us. So continue to fight for Sabah rights and Sabah interests.